I'm in the game. I'm in the game. Hello, I'm in the video with my daddy.
What's going on, everybody? So today's episode is from YouTube channel His and Her Hobby Headquarters, and we're gonna get to meet them, see what their channel's about, and have a nice time getting to know them. All right, I will have a message at the end of this. All right, bye. What's going on, dude?
I'm here. I'm awake.
So go ahead and explain the channel name, because that's very unique, right?
Well, okay, so when I got back into scale model building, uh, I got to this point where I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to have do a hobby shop or something like that at some point. And I was thinking, E&L Enterprises or something like that, mine and my wife's initials. And my wife and I were talking about it one day. She goes, "Oh, I've got the name for it. His and Hers Hobby Shop." I was like, "Okay, well, I guess that's what we're sticking with." And then I was thinking about it with my military background. Why not His and Hers Hobby Headquarters? And if you look at the logo, the uh, uh, the symbol there is the quartermaster design. I was a 92 Alpha in the Army, and we fall under the quartermaster or quartermaster corps. Then the Empire that's across the front there, that was the one unit I was deployed with, 887 Engineer Support Company, and their call sign was Empire. So it's I've actually got my the 92 Alpha 20 is my MOS. I just incorporated everything, made it his and hers hobby headquarters.
I mean, that's why I asked that, because it's very very unique. Does she model too, or just or what is she doing for the hobby, her hobby? Did he free? Oh, maybe. You hear me?
I'm sorry,
Hello.
what?
I said, what does she do for her hobby?
I've got some background noise here. I'm not hearing anything. Got something going on outside.
I. You're fine. So what does she do for her hobby?
Well, she actually doesn't do anything. I'm only hobby.
Oh, okay. I uh, that's okay. Um, so what do you mostly like to build?
Um, well, I'm kind of a toss up between military aircraft and automotive. I like the 125th scale because for me it's easier to work with, especially when I'm doing the scratch building. And the military aircraft is because that's what I started with way back when I was 7.
What's your favorite military thing to build?
Well, I've done a couple of armor, but it the aircraft specifically. Um, uh, I like vintage bombers. I think I've got something like 6 or 7 B-17s in my stash.
Oh, nice. Those are nice.
Um, I've got a handful of B-24s. I got two B-29s and a B-36. I love the old big bombers.
That's cool. Um, so after the military stuff, because you have a bunch of stuff on your Facebook page, right? I mean, you
Well,
have
when it comes to this
cars.
technology stuff, you're going to have to lead the way because I'm not sure what's going on.
It it looks like you just froze, but you can still hear me, right? It'll probably clear up in a minute. You still hear me?
I'm sorry, what? Yeah.
So what after like on your Facebook page, you have a bunch of cars, trucks, like I think like a helicopter, right? What how much of that stuff do you like doing?
Um, well, I enjoy getting to push myself. Uh, okay, so I got back into scale model building maybe now 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And the first thing I did was I went to YouTube and found a whole bunch of, well, all the all the wonderful people out there now. Um, Night Shift, Lucasy, uh, Matt at Model Car Videos, and I wanted to do better than what I did when I was growing up. I had a 23-year break in model building,
Okay.
and it was just one of those cases I wanted to do better than that. So um, I got a couple of builds. I'm going to be doing a video here shortly, maybe for tomorrow, showing some of my before YouTube builds. And the point uh, would be like, this is my first kit that I did, getting back into it, and the next kit, and then how things progress from there. Um,
Oh, that'd
but
be cool.
being being able to add the realism to the models, it's like one of my arguments. I couldn't be a judge for IPMS because I like real. It doesn't necessarily have to be rusted, but I like real. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
you know,
that's okay.
because there's going to be exhaust, there's going to be road grime underneath the vehicle, that kind of stuff. You know, the tires will have a little bit of wear to them, maybe a little bit of road wear, I guess,
Okay.
but not necessarily rusty. I do appreciate a really good shiny vehicle, but I love real.
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you like doing the whole weathering process or just a little bit of it?
It depends upon, I guess, the build I'm going for. The look I'm going for would be, just if I do just a touch of weathering, just to give it that appearance of it may be a new vehicle, but it's also got, 2, 3 thousand miles on it. Or the aircraft, the maintenance crew is trying to keep it clean, but that exhaust is going to create a lot of soot down the sides or something like that, and it's going to be real difficult to keep it clean.
Right. No, that makes sense. No, that makes sense. I could totally get that. Um, so what do you like using for some of the weathering stuff? Are you mostly oils? You do just pin washes? You doing
Oh, I do. I do a little bit of pin washes. I haven't done a whole lot of work with the oils yet. I'm building myself up to it. It's one of those things I'm dipping my toes into those waters, or those oils. But a lot of the effects I pull with the the old Walmart 50-cent craft paints, the acrylics. If I want a little bit of texture, I leave it almost full strength, or I can turn it into a wash and really water it down a little bit. And
Okay.
then I pre-moisten the area if I'm doing it as a wash, which I picked up from Laser Creation World. Um, that way
Wait,
it
what's that?
eliminates.
What's that? What's that? What's that? What's Laser Creation World? That's new. I haven't heard that before.
Laser Creation World is another YouTube channel, one that uh, I stumbled upon him um, just a couple of years ago, and he's got this fantastic technique. He does a whole lot of armor, but he's also done a lot of 125th scale or 124 scale. And he builds a lot of dioramas to go with them. So when he's doing something, he goes for real. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So his techniques are extraordinary. So I try to combine a little bit of everything that Night Shift might have, Laser Creation World. I try to combine a little bit of everything, and I love the effect you get. Um, I know I've done a couple of quick shorts on like how I do pull a specific deeper rust look somewhere. Uh, it, yeah, 60s rule. He's right. Laser Creation World is an awesome channel. If you Yeah, I just highly recommend checking him out because it's really extraordinary seeing what he does.
No, no, that's a new channel. I've never heard that one before. That's why I asked. I was like, what is that? I learned just as much from you guys as you probably do from me. So, right,
Well, right, it, we support each other, and
right.
by supporting each other, we help grow the community and help grow the hobby. If we keep pushing each other and like I kind of feel like the group builds and stuff like that is a way of pushing each other. Um, it doesn't mean you have to try to jump on every group build, but uh, like I did the ice cream truck, which I'm still waiting for the decals for the Fat Fenders, Fins, and Chrome. I never would have thought of doing an ice cream truck until Rob at Time Machine Scale Models came up with that. And then I was looking at that old 53 AMT 53 Ford, and I was going, what can I do with you that's unique? And I was scrolling through images, and I came across those old ice cream trucks, and I went, "Oh no, I need to do that."
Yeah,
So
right.
it's thanks to stuff like that that I push myself, and I don't want to rest on my laurels. I guess I just want to keep getting to that point. I would like to see sometime before it's my time to pass, where I'm somewhere between A4 Garage, which that guy, is phenomenal with his detail. I want to be somewhere between A4 Garage, Night Shift, and Laser Creation World.
Yeah, I think everybody shoots for night shift. I'm not gonna lie. He's a really really good builder. I
Oh yeah.
hands down, he might be one of the best ones on YouTube.
Oh, definitely. That's where I got um, that initial bit of rusting that I do if I want
Yeah.
to highlight a specific area in rusting, I have that fine tooth Tamiya brush that I use to get those little details, get that deeper rust. And then I throw in that laser creation world and I give it a little wash and let things spread over that once it's dry, get that sense, that feel that the rust isn't done growing yet.
No,
So I mean,
yeah, I totally get that because you watch some of those guys that especially do the armor, like tanks and stuff, and they're on a completely different level than most of the modelers.
It's well, it's one of those cases of like I've said it before several times. If I'm ever blessed enough to break 1,000 subs, I'm going to do a giveaway. But I'm going to do an automotive giveaway and an armor giveaway. And my recommendation, it won't be you have to do it, but if you happen to be mostly automotive, I would recommend getting the tank. If you happen to be mostly armor, get the vehicle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And branch out a little bit, try something and push yourself because I think everything that you see in armor, like Night Shift, translates like it seriously boosts your um, quality of build in the automotive.
I agree with that. And the one thing that I would add to that list is figures.
Oh yeah, it's I've only done pardon me, two figures so far, but um, I there's a company in Germany that does um, scale figures, 3D scale figures, and you can get them in 1/24th or 1/25th scale, and they don't do a specific figure. They like on their webpage, they actually give you options. You can have this person doing something that you are looking for specifically. It's not a general thing.
Yeah, no, yeah. There's a couple guys. I don't know the name of them either, but there's a couple of guys in Europe that like when you do the 18 van, you can have all the figures that go with it standing up.
Right,
Right.
right.
And that's cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, really cool. So, what kind of paints and stuff are you using?
Okay, I'm gonna hurt some feelings with this. I'm using uh, some of the Rust-Oleum 2X. I use Tamiya acrylics. I use Testers enamels and a lot of the Walmart craft paints, the cheap acrylic craft paints.
Nothing wrong with any of that. I
Yeah,
mean, I've seen some. We're gonna show some of your builds because I got pictures, and I I wouldn't be ashamed of any of that, right?
uh, right. It's just how it comes up. It's like I really enjoy using like the Rust-Oleum 2X or even the Testers spray paints. I rattle can most all of my builds. I will use that as base coats, as main colors and whatnot. And then once those are done and dry, then I start going crazy with the acrylics.
So is that what you're using the washes and stuff from? Is the acrylic paint, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's I mean I do have one jar of the Tamiya panel liner. Um, I've got one tub of that, and of course all the um Tamiya acrylics I have. So I will use the acrylics if I'm looking for something specific. I will use the Tamiya acrylics because they thin better than the craft paint. But the craft acrylics, I will do something, especially like a gloss black. I will thin it down as best as possible, wash whatever I'm going for, and then wipe it dry.
Yeah, no, yeah. I do the same thing sometimes, but the other thing that I use is inks. Like
I've seen that.
the inks. I mean they have
Yeah,
all kinds of different ones, but you know.
to be honest, I'm not. I haven't. I've seen a lot of people talk about the inks, but I've not seen anybody. For me, if I'm going to use something like the inks, I would like to know how to clean it, clean the brushes or whatnot, because I'm like, okay, so what kind of ink is this? What kind is it? Like a lacquer based? Is it acrylic? Is it enamel based?
I just use this stuff from Walmart.
Oh, low odor. I've got a bottle of that. Oddly enough. All right, I will start
I mean
looking.
that's what I'm doing, right? I'm not sure if that's what's but it I mean it works, so
Well, see, I mean, I'm learning something.
right?
I honestly didn't know that, so I appreciate that.
No, no, it like I kind of knew you were kind of all over the place with paint because I seen a couple like actually, you know what? I'll show the picture now. But it's the oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? This one.
Right,
That truck, right? Cuz I mean, you could tell there's a really good base color and then the rust or the brownish color, however you want to call it, is like you could tell that that's not maybe it's like a flat color.
right. Okay, so in that case, I used the Rust-Oleum 2X flat red primer, and then I went with the Rust-Oleum 2X Fossil. I want to say is the base color. And then from there, of course, you do the light sanding to break through the initial color, your base color to get back to the primer. And then from there, I built up with the acrylic craft paints because I was looking for that not shiny look. I wanted it to actually present real, like uh, well, I've seen a lot of rat rods that look rusty, but they've got that hyper glossy shine to them,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't like that because rust doesn't shine. It's really dull. So when I did that specific build, it was a sponsor build for a local gas station because I fell in love with their logo. And I said, "Look, guys, I want to do this as a real working type work truck.
Yeah.
It will look like it's seen its miles, it's seen its years, and that's where that truck came from. They fell in love with it. They're like, that is the coolest thing they've ever seen. So I got lucky there. But I pulled the it was it's a semi-gloss fossil is the color, and of course then all the flat acrylics to really break or bring out the rust and the spread of the rust.
Oh yeah. Okay. No, that's really cool. I think those are good all good tips too. Like when you're trying to get all that different colors, right?
Right. Um, remember your corners and stuff like that because that's where your a lot of your rust is really going to get heftier. You might be able to fight some of the rust on the flat surfaces, but when it gets into those corners, that's where it rust really holds on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, no, that's very, very true. Especially when you look at like an old like that truck, right? Those older like full metal trucks. It's not like some of this fiberglass stuff where it doesn't hold on, it just falls off, right? you
Right.
know?
Yeah,
Um,
so yeah, that bumper for that truck is actually a scratch build. I didn't want the wooden push bumper. I did a big cast iron type of push bumper. My dad had an old Ford, 71 Ford, which I plan on recreating. Uh, it was a F-250, and he had a push bumper, the old cast iron push bumper, uh, mounted on the front end of that thing. And when we were all stationed out in Point Magoo. There was a flood. This was back in 80, 81, and his was the only civilian vehicle driving through the floodwaters, and it was because of that big push bumper, because it was pushing the water out of the way, and none of the water was getting up into the engine bay.
All right. No,
So I love those big push bumpers.
no, yeah. I mean, that's a perfect example, right? Of why sometimes technology, the simplest technology, works the best, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna show a couple more of your builds, and then I'm gonna show the last one, and then it's gonna probably start another conversation. So here's your helicopter, right?
Right. That was a straight out of the box build. I actually did a quick series on that for YouTube. It was a straight out of the box build. I went, um, the colors they actually called for didn't work. Uh, the white did, but the gray on the lower portion of it did not work. And they had uh, those aren't actually uh, torpedoes, or no, those are torpedoes, but they are training torpedoes. They're not red, it's more of an orange. So I wanted more of a real, so I went and actually Googled a lot of images of these particular helicopters, and I found the sister to this actual helicopter. Uh, I think that one's number 5, and I found number 6 and number 4 images for both of them, and they're almost identical to this one. So I based everything off of their color scheme. So that was a straight out of the box build. The only thing I did was I added the extra soot or exhaust across the back there. If you look where the exhaust panel is darkened on purpose, then you have that exhaust coming beyond it. Well, that's an actual effect or issue with the exhaust out of that particular helicopter. So I wanted to recreate that.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I
I don't
think I
think the
actually,
exhaust is actually shown in that picture, though. I mean, I only grabbed a couple pictures off your Facebook page, so
it's kind of hard to see, but even the blades have a little bit of weathering to them. As they spin through the air, they get a little bit of chip on the leading edge, but then they also get the streaking that runs, well, horizontal to the parallel blade. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the exhaust should go out the back end, right? Of the like, I I
Well,
won't be able to
right,
show this, but
right, if you look at the um, leading edge of the black square there, or the black edge, that's where the exhaust port is, and it is purposely painted black on these helicopters because of the exhaust. But if you look directly behind it, that's not a shadow. That's actually uh, it's black chalk. I just used a Q-tip and a brush and created the smoke effect or exhaust effect coming off of that.
oh, okay. No. Okay, I thought it was further back, but okay. No, I see that now. No, that's cool. I like the like I said, I like the weathering techniques that you do. That's some of the crazy parts about some of your builds. And and you do that on all of them. It's not just the trucks, it's not just and then you have stuff like this. It's the I don't even know what to call that.
That is my Wolfman. He represents the Wolfman. Um, it's part of a series that I call Creatures of the Road. Uh, I already have Frankenstein's monster. It's the van with the pickup bed attached to the back end, but it's got like a doctor's table in the back. That is that's representative of the Frankenstein's monster. The vehicle itself represents Frankenstein's monster because it's a Frankenstein vehicle. But I said, well, what can I do to really up this build? So I built a scratch build a mad scientist laboratory inside the van body, added the doctor's bed and a couple Tesla coils, and said, there we go. The Frankenstein's monster got away. And then I said, oh, I need to do this need to really commit. This is based off of the old creature features. So
Okay.
the next one up in that series was the Wolfman, and using what's I guess technically a dry brush technique, I used a really coarse hair brush and created the fur look that you see in the paint job. All I did was primer it black and then went over it in successive layers of various shades of browns and grays to present that fur look. Then I created the top of the hood and made it look like, well, a wolf, the top of the wolf's muzzle with teeth to give it that really cool look. Then I scratch built the cage, wrenched the door open, said the Wolfman got away.
No, I
Uh, the,
mean, I think for the preview for the live, I did the other end of that, so it's pretty cool. It's just a unique, like, the hood. You can see the eyes, right?
right.
Ears. So I get it now. Like, I wasn't sure before, but now I get it. No, that's
Yeah,
that's super cool.
it's just one is going to be Dracula's hearse. The next vehicle in that series is Dracula's hearse. And of course, I know most everybody should be really familiar with the Surf Shark, the 59 Cadillac ambulance. Well, my goal for that is I'm cutting off the roof. Um, and you'll get it'll present kind of like those classic coaches where the cockpit or where the driver sits is open, and then I'm going to scratch build kind of a something kind of like the old horse-drawn hearses, the really fancy boxes. For the back end, it'll separate or keep the casket separate from the driver's compartment kind of thing. Then I'm going to scratch build a casket for the inside, and the lid is going to be open because Dracula got away.
No, that no, like I said, that's super cool. And I'm gonna show the last one here in a minute. What was this like to build?
That I gotta tell you, that was an extraordinarily different kind of build. Charlie Mack has built a couple of those, and um, but it was just one of those. Be prepared to get some wax and plenty of it. It helps the parts fit together, um, and everything on that is friction fit. So, uh, and the working part of it, where it actually you can wind it up and it actually moves. The tires move it. The horses are off the ground by a little bit. You want to make sure all your gears are waxed up because the wax actually acts as a lubricant for the wood. And it's from U Gears, which is a Ukrainian company, and I built it up for Radio Control Racing Company here in St. Robert. It was just one of those really fun and unique builds. I got to thinking about it. I was like, I probably should film some of this, and then I got started on it and said, okay, I'll try to get some work done. And then next thing I know, I'm partway done. I'm like, oop, I forgot to film. So there are a couple of videos, but they're not as uh, complete as it should be because I got ahead of myself.
No, I mean, my question is, are you going to paint that too, or are you just going to leave it that way?
Oh no, that one, I gave it back to, I built it up for them so they could display it for all the U-Gear stuff he sells. But there are several kits out there that U-Gears does, and I want to get some more because I think it would look real pretty doing it as a stain or even painting it up, and I want to give that a try.
So you're planning on doing another version of that, right? Or are you going to do the same kit?
Yeah, it's going to be another. They've got a ton of different kits out there for uh, from U-Gears, so it's one of those cases. I'm definitely looking for the right kit that I want to stain and get that really bring out the wood finish look, or the one they I think it's a Austin Healy, I think is what it is. It's a really pretty car. That it's functional. That's the coolest thing about these wooden kits is that they're functional. And I wouldn't mind getting that one and painting it up and see what I could create with that.
No, I mean, like I said, those are super cool. I was just, that was one of the things I saw on your Facebook page, right? And I thought it looked cool, so I thought I'd bring it in, you know. Um, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I agree. They are really cool kits. They are a fun and relaxing thing. I know a lot of us modelers, we get into a funk because we've spent all this time doing detail or pushing ourselves. Oh, we need to make this look a certain way. And then we get into a funk. And our best bet is to either grab a kit and just build it out of the box. Don't even care what it looks like. Don't clean up no seam lines or anything like that. Just build it or change up what you build. And one of those U Gears kits would be extraordinary, would really help with a reset. It's like, okay, I'm ready to get going again.
I see. I find it. That's why I try to do a bunch of different stuff, right? Because it just kind of it doesn't like burn me out and not like just doing cars all the time. You know what I mean? Like I'll do a car figure, and then I went 2 years just doing figures, learning all kinds of new stuff, and now I'm kind of getting back into the car figure, truck, spaceship. You know,
Oh
I
yeah,
think it
those.
helps.
Yeah, I wanted. At some point, I will be getting doing some sci-fi on the channel. I will be doing again. I will be doing some armor. I'll do some more aircraft. I will do some figures when I get to them, or when I find the right figure uh, to start with. But it's just one of those cases of no matter how it turns out, it's like one of my messages I'm building for me. And um, if it turns out, uh, well, looking like dirt, then I learned something how not to build or how not to paint it. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those cases I'm having fun with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh,
If you're not having fun with this, it's kind of a waste of time, right?
oh yeah, it's one of those cases like everybody knows what kit bashing is, especially in the automotive. They'll mix the Chevy Nova with a 57 Chevy or something like that. That they'll mix and match. I want to take some sci-fi, like one of the Star Trek starships, and blend it with a modern fighter jet, just because.
take like the Battlestar Galactica Viper, right?
Yeah,
Right.
or I'm thinking taking like an F-15 Strike Eagle or something like that, and adding the warp nacelles and using a portion of the saucer section from Star Trek, and or the Viper, and blending it with a helicopter. I think that'd be really cool. That that would be some kit bashing.
No, kit bashing is like the GI mechanic in the chat. That's some of the stuff that he's known for, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
I enjoy the whole idea, the concept behind the kit bash.
yeah,
Of course, the scratch building is fun. It's David Parsley's emergency vehicles, all his stuff. That all the scratch building he does, David is phenomenal. I watch as many of his videos as I can multiple times to try and pick up what I can scratch building wise, because there are things that I want to do or attain a certain look this way or that. And it's like, okay, I need to do this scratch build. David's got um, phenomenal tips on how he does all that.
yeah, yeah. There's a couple channels I follow just on the sci-fi side of it, and then there's a couple that's on the automotive side that's just as creative. And yeah, it's crazy once you dig down into that rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I don't always get to comment on everybody's video because I personally I am the only person in this house except my granddaughter without a computer. Everybody's got a laptop. Even my wife's got a laptop. So um, I do what research I can. I watch everybody's videos on my TV, so I can't always comment. But like if my daughter's at work or something, I'll jump in her room, jump on her laptop, and try to get comments and stuff out there. But it doesn't always happen. But I do watch pretty much everybody that I'm subscribed to. I have two channels. I have Eric Graves channel, um, that I'm subscribed to a whole lot. And then the His and Hers Hobby Headquarters, which I focus strictly on the hobby in any shape or form, the sci-fi, the armor, the automotive, the figures. I try to make sure I catch and watch as much of everybody as I can. But I can't always let you know I'm there. I will throw a like, little thumbs up your way, but
it's crazy how many people are on YouTube now, huh?
oh yeah.
See, it seems like COVID just brought everybody back to the hobby, and it's such a great thing too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's now playfully seeing some people purchase a kit, but they don't just purchase the kit, they purchase six, seven, eight of the kit. I'm on a fixed income and I kind of watch these where I can to pick up something, and seeing everybody coming back to it. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to go buy this. And they're like, well, we're sold out. And then I look, and then somebody showcasing, oh, I have eight of this kit. And I'm going, well, dadgummit. I know why I can't get that kit now.
Or
It's great that you get more people to come to the hobby or come back to the hobby. But by that same token, I'm sitting there going, dadgummit, I missed.
no, yeah, no, it's not. You're not probably wrong on that. There's some people that have like a '67 Chevelle, for example, and has most of them because he
Yeah,
uses them for certain stuff, right?
yeah, I laugh about it. It's after my experiences in combat and whatnot. I take a lot of things with a grain of salt. I don't stress a lot of things. I can pick on myself. I've said it before. We are our own harshest critics.
True.
But I can sit there and look at somebody that's got 15, 20 of the 67 Chevelle and go, well, I'm not getting that kit. So it's, I am probably one of the last people that will get angry about something, but I will make as close to a snide joking comment about it as because it doesn't affect me like that anymore. I'm like, oh, it is what it is. I'll go on to another kid. I've got a guy. I'm looking for a doggone it. It's a 62, I think it is, 62 to 64. It's not the Barracuda, but it's based off the Barracuda body. The only thing that was different is the rear glass is concave. I can't remember the name of the car. Um, it's a Plymouth, I think it is. It might be a Duster, but it's based off the Barracuda body. I'm looking for one of those. I've actually seen the kit for that um, for that car, but they wanted like $300 for the kit because it's an old kit. Uh, there's a uh, automotive garage not too far down the street from me, and I love his Route 66 logo. And I was like, hey, would I be able to use your logo and do some? Yes, the Valiant. Thank you, 60s rule. Um, um, I love their logo, and he was like, well, if you can find this Valiant, uh, and like I said, it's like a 62 to 64. I can't remember exactly. I have to go back and look at it. He goes, if you can find that and build it and make it look exactly like this car, which his is this really ugly lime green, like out of the factory, but it's really faded and it's got quite a bit of patina going. But he's got a beefed up engine in it. This thing, he uses it in parades, and this thing rumbles down the street. He goes, if you can recreate this, I'll certainly, put you out there. It's kind of like I scratch his back, he scratches mine. I put his logo on a model, and he puts my name out there, kind of thing.
Wow, that's awesome. That's working in the community, right?
Well, yeah, it's one of those. I've said it, shop local. I've said that many times before, and that I have several businesses that want to do builds with me, but we're looking specifically for that a vehicle or something that would work for them. There's this coffee shop down the street, little mom and pop place called Drakenfooder, Feed Your Dragon. Um, and they've got uh, um, a coffee themed truck out there. It's a 19, I want to say it's either 1919 or 1920 vehicle that was actually built specifically. It's one of only two in the world built specifically as a mobile coffee vending machine. And it's sitting out there. They're like, if you can find that, we will definitely uh, have you do a build for us. So one of those things I'm in the market for looking for that. So I've got a lot of projects, but they're kind of back burner because they're have to find them. I totally went completely off subject there. Sorry.
Okay. So what are some of your favorite tools?
Um, well, the right now, the my favorite tool is a Zacto knife. Um, I I got that Tamiya panel scriber tool, and I've actually got it figured out. You have to use it a certain way, and it works. It's a lovely tool, but I don't always need the. It leaves quite a gap when you're using it. You know, so I like using the back of the Zacto blade when I'm doing a really fine panel line or something like that. I've been using, I will use the mess out of a blade. I break the tip off or it gets dull. I use it for scribing and just move on to the next Zacto blade.
Okay. No, that's cool. That's pretty much some of the only. That's some of your favorite tools, or
I've got my favorite brush, that little, I want to say it's the double zero, the really fine point paint brush for all the extraordinary detail or getting into the little rust. Um, of course, the little snippers, those things are great. Um, yeah, those are my three basic tools.
no? That's cool. That's awesome. So, on one of your shorts, I think you got a 3D printer. How are you liking that?
I haven't used it yet. I don't. I've got a surface where I can assemble it. Now, I saw a thing where they were talking about it, and you can. They recommend a minimum of a 3 hour build just to assemble it. And
I don't know about that. Which one did you get?
well, the Creality Ender 3 or 4, I think it is. Um, it was something my daughter got me for Christmas, and it's the one that uses the spool of plastic.
PLA. Yep.
Yeah. Uh, and I love this thing because I'm looking forward to getting to use it because I can do the figures, I can do automotive bodies with that.
But okay, whoa, time out, time out, time out. I would not do if you want like good prints. I would not do PLA in a body. Figures, on the other hand, I mean, you can get away with that because you can hide. But if you
No,
wanted to look a certain way, I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do it in PLA.
well, no, I do a car body, but like I've actually got a before YouTube build that's not quite done yet, and I used 98% of the parts out of the kit, out of the box. It's the Autocar A64B. I used 98% of the parts out of the box to assemble this thing, but it is roughly 68 to 70% scratch build. So there's a lot to it, like the box, which would be kind of like a shipping container on the that I mounted on the back of it. Something like that I could do with the Creality Ender without having to waste all the uh, evergreen styrene.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not it's I know there would be a lot of lost detail, so I wouldn't do like the car body itself, but like if I wanted to do a screwy car, then or a truck, then yeah, like the bed, the different bed or the shipping containers or something like that, then yeah, this 3D printer fits exactly where I want it.
Yeah, no, that stuff will work great for. But getting like a Corvette body where it's got all them curves and stuff, it will like you will kick yourself trying to sand that thing smooth.
But yeah, I for that I'm looking to get one of the actual resin 3D printers at some point, I'm like the Anycubic or something like that. I want to get into and use for the finer detail.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't. It didn't take me 3 hours. I mean, everybody's got a different mechanical aptitude, so I will just say that. But it's basically just on two metal frames that go in together, and then you just plug everything in. Like, I don't even think it took me an hour, really. And
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not really I don't work I'm not really mechanically inclined either. So it's not as bad. I mean, it is time consuming the first time you do it because you got to watch a video and sometimes to make sure you kind of have an idea what you're doing. So I understand that part of it, but I don't think it took me that long.
oh, I totally agree, but it's like okay, when I was in the army, I spent 11 of my 15 years in a motor pool, and um, this is one of those things like I complain about when, here in the civilian world. Um, they have the book, and the book tells you it takes 5 hours to uh, uh, change a heater core, but it really can be done in like 45 minutes. They're going to charge you for that 5 hours. So in this case, if the video says it's going to take 3 hours, it's like, okay, it's going to take 3 hours, but then I'm going to sit down and see how long it actually takes.
No, I get it. Okay. No, I get it. But like I was just saying it's not really, you know.
Well, yeah, obviously, it's the book says 3 hours, but we're, uh, I'm going to set aside a block, time block, so I have time to fiddle fart with it.
No, I understand. I had to go through that too. I understand that part too.
I'm also one of those boring individuals. I will break out the owner's manual and read that cover to cover, and, or in this case, watch the video over and over again before working on it. I can't explain. We had a station wagon. I say had because the transmission went out on it back in December, and we just picked up a Mountaineer, a Mercury Mountaineer, and I've broken out the owner's manual a dozen times already, going, "Oh, what's this button do? What's all these features?" And my kid's looking at me, "What are you doing?" Well, I'm learning my truck. They're like, "Well, just get in there and drive it." Well, you can do that.
No, yeah, right. So we've hit about that hour mark. Did you have any questions for me?
No, actually, I was going to comment and say, after sitting down and watching a lot of your interviews that you've done, I really appreciate uh, getting to know a lot of the people that I watch more so than their content. So I appreciate what you're actually doing, getting to talk to everybody out there. It's I think it's a fantastic idea, and I hope you get a lot more content creators to do interviews with it.
I mean, it's a process. I mean, as you've seen throughout the week, right? I mean, it's not, like it's giving you information, letting you sit on that information, and then making sure you're doing okay. We're still good for Saturday. It's still, and then I'm still trying to set up interviews for the future while I'm doing that. It's like
Right.
it is a lot, but it's going really, really good. I can't complain one bit. And everybody seems to enjoy these, so it's great on all levels. Like for me, for you guys, for the people that come on, it's totally awesome. I can't, I wasn't sure how this was going to go when I first started, but it's been great. So I can't really complain.
Again, I really appreciate it. It's getting to see some of those other creators and getting to know them this way or in this kind of format is extraordinary. And then along the way, you get to know you a little bit better. Uh, so, I mean, we can watch each other's content, support each other's content, but unless we are some of those that actually attend shows and stuff like that, where we actually get to meet or correspond with each other, getting to know each other at least on a little more personal level, it's a really fantastic idea seeing you interview everybody.
Yeah, right. It is, it's been great. And I've come so far when I first started this, like how I've improved over time because I'll like steal this technique, look at that technique and be like, no, I want to change it and do this instead. It's all been positive and it's been great.
Yeah, it's definitely an enjoyable concept watching how uh, how people do and figuring out, okay, this is how they do this, and it's either you didn't catch that particular video in their content, but you covered it in their interview, and it's like, oh, okay, now I understand. So yeah, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say others' techniques, but it's kind of funny. It's
You cut out. I don't know what you're saying.
oh, sorry. Uh, are you hearing me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, no, I was just saying, it's not quite necessarily stealing others' techniques. It's uh, imitation is the best form of flattery.
I agree with that. I agree with that. No, I totally agree with that. It totally awesome. I totally agree with that. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, sir. I actually, I'm good.
Well, once you get your printer up and going, man, if you need any help, let me know because I have the Creality the CR10 version 2. So it's
Okay.
kind of PLA stuff. So if you need any help, let me know, man. I can at least give you a good tip or
I will definitely hit you up. Yeah, it's my daughter's phone, so it's like, okay, let's get a hold of this guy.
well, I mean, the hard part about some of that stuff is just the software side of it.
Right.
I mean, getting a bed level, I mean, that just takes time. Once you get it kind of figured out, it's like cake. It's not
Right.
hard by any means. I mean, if I can figure it out, anybody can freaking figure it out, right?
Right. But yeah, I appreciate it. This has been a fun hour and 5 minutes or so.
Or so, yeah. I think so.
So I've really enjoyed this, and it was great hanging out with another modeler and hanging out with everybody in the chat. I had to close the chat over here, so I didn't get to see everybody's chat. But it's getting to hang out with everybody. This was fun.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows who's watching, there's a link to your Facebook page and your YouTube channel in the description of this video. Go ahead and click on either one. Go check out the channel. There's some interesting builds on there to say the least. So hopefully some people check it out, subscribe, and I will talk to you in a couple minutes, okay?
All right. Thanks.
All right. Oh, that's not what I wanted. All right, everybody. So His and Her Hobby Headquarters, they're on Facebook and YouTube. Like I was saying just a second ago, there's a link in the description of this video for his YouTube channel on the Facebook page. Go ahead and check it out, dude. Pretty cool stuff on there. I mean, you got to see some of the pictures. But coming up in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be testing out some new paint, and hopefully that person is going to come on and talk about it. So you're going to see a couple of shiny paint jobs, hopefully, for me. Hopefully I don't mess them up. But I will check you guys later and see you next week.